I bet you didn't know that in Ravenswood, a quaint village shrouded in mystery and folklore, a dusty old book could alter the very fabric of reality. This book, known as the Book of Shadows, had been hidden away for centuries, its pages filled with ancient spells and incantations that could bend time and space. Clara, a curious and adventurous young woman, found out the hard way. She had always been fascinated by the supernatural and the unknown, often spending her evenings reading about the village's haunted history and the legends that surrounded it. One fateful evening, while exploring the attic of her ancestral home, Clara stumbled upon the Book of Shadows. Intrigued by the mysterious symbols and incantations, Clara read aloud from the ancient text, unaware of the consequences that would follow. That night, a chilling energy surged through her home. The air grew cold, and the lights flickered ominously. Clara could feel an unsettling presence around her, as if the very walls of her house were closing in. By morning, terrifying nightmares haunted her, and shadows whispered her name. She would wake up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding, as the shadows on her walls seemed to move and take shape, whispering secrets and warnings. Desperate for answers, she sought help from Mr. Langley, a local historian and expert in the occult. Mr. Langley had spent his life studying the dark arts and the supernatural, and he was the only person Clara could think of who might have the knowledge to help her. He recognized the book immediately. His eyes widened with a mix of fear and fascination as he carefully examined the ancient text. "It's the fabled Book of Shadows," he said, his voice trembling. "This book contains spells that manipulate time and reality, at the cost of the reader's soul. Many have sought its power, but none have succeeded without paying a terrible price." Unfazed by the warning, Clara continued exploring its pages, hoping to summon a lost love. She had lost her fiancé in a tragic accident years ago, and the pain of his absence had never left her. The thought of bringing him back, even at great risk, was too tempting to resist. Instead, she awakened a malevolent spirit bound to the book. This dark entity had been trapped within its pages for centuries, waiting for someone to release it. It stalked her dreams and waking hours, driving her to the edge of sanity. Clara could feel its presence everywhere she went, a constant oppressive force that seemed to feed on her fear and despair. With Mr. Langley's guidance, Clara uncovered dark tales of those who had tried to harness the book's power, only to lose everything. They found old manuscripts and journals detailing the tragic fates of those who had come before her, each story more horrifying than the last. Realizing she was part of a deadly game, Clara prepared for a binding ritual to banish the spirit. She spent days studying the ancient texts, gathering the necessary ingredients and preparing herself mentally and emotionally for the battle ahead. As the spirit manifested, taunting her with her deepest fears, Clara fought back, reciting the incantations with terror and determination. The room filled with a dark, swirling energy as the spirit tried to break free, but Clara held her ground, her voice steady and strong. Channeling the love and memories of her grandmother, she cast the final spell. Her grandmother had always been a source of strength and comfort for Clara, and in that moment she felt her presence guiding and supporting her. In a burst of light, the spirit was drawn back into the pages. Silence fell. The oppressive energy that had filled the room dissipated, leaving Clara standing alone, exhausted but victorious. Clara, forever marked by her ordeal, locked away the Book of Shadows, vowing to guard its secrets. She knew that the book's power was too dangerous to be left unchecked, and she made it her mission to ensure that it would never fall into the wrong hands again. But as she turned to leave, a single page flipped open, hinting that the dark magic within the book was far from finished. The eerie glow from the book cast long shadows on the walls, and Clara knew that her battle with the dark forces was only just beginning. In the days that followed, Clara became a figure of intrigue and concern in Ravenswood. The villagers whispered about her ordeal, some believing her to be a hero, while others feared the dark power she had encountered. Clara could feel their eyes on her wherever she went, but she remained resolute in her mission to protect the village from the book's malevolent influence. One quiet afternoon, Clara visited her fiancé's grave, placing fresh flowers and speaking softly to him. She told him about the book, the spirit, and the battle she had fought. She promised him that she would continue to protect the village and that she would never forget the love they had shared. Determined to learn more about the Book of Shadows and its origins, Clara spent countless hours in the village library, poring over old books and manuscripts. She discovered that the book had been created by a powerful sorcerer centuries ago, a man who had sought to control time and reality but had ultimately been consumed by his own dark magic. The sorcerer's story was a cautionary tale of ambition and hubris. He had performed dark rituals and incantations, binding his own soul to the book in a desperate bid for immortality. But his power had come at a terrible cost, and he had been trapped within the book for all eternity, his spirit twisted and malevolent. One day, while examining the book, Clara discovered a hidden compartment containing a new set of spells. These spells were different from the others, written in a language she had never seen before. They seemed to hold the key to unlocking even greater power, but Clara knew that using them would come with even greater risks. She brought the new spells to Mr. Langley, hoping he could help her decipher them. Together they worked to translate the ancient text, uncovering secrets that had been hidden for centuries. The more they learned, the more they realized the true extent of the book's power and the dangers it posed. To protect the village from the book's dark magic, Clara and Mr. Langley performed protective rituals and created wards around Ravenswood. They knew that the book's power could never be fully contained, but they hoped to at least keep it at bay and prevent it from causing further harm. Clara also began training in magic, learning to harness her own abilities and strengthen her defenses. She practiced spells and incantations, honing her skills and preparing herself for whatever challenges lay ahead. She knew that the battle against the dark forces was far from over, and she was determined to be ready. One night, Clara had a vision of the future. She saw herself standing in the midst of a great battle, facing a new and even more powerful threat. The vision filled her with a sense of urgency and determination, and she knew that she had to continue her training and prepare for the challenges to come. To keep a record of her experiences and discoveries, Clara began writing in a journal. She documented everything she had learned about the Book of Shadows, the spells, and the rituals. She hoped that her journal would serve as a guide for future generations, a warning of the dangers of dark magic, and a testament to the power of love and determination. As Clara stood at the edge of the village, looking out at the horizon, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that her journey was far from over, but she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With the Book of Shadows locked away and the village protected, she was determined to continue her fight against the dark forces and protect the people she loved. The Book of Shadows remained locked away, its pages glowing with a mysterious light. The dark magic within it was far from finished, but as long as Clara was there to guard its secrets, Ravenswood would remain safe. And so, the story of Clara's haunting discovery became a legend in the village, a tale of courage, love, and the eternal battle between light and darkness.